Good afternoon from Big Sky Country. I'm having a really hard time with this video because it's a this and that video, but I have a lot of different things I want to cover and I'm not sure what order to do them in because there's some stuff that kind of plays on other parts of the video. So bear with me on this video. It's going to kind of jump around a little bit. I just want to tell you, first of all, last week my husband and I went on our first long vacation since September of 2019, and we traveled from Montana to Las Vegas, Nevada. We used to go down to Las Vegas every year. We were scheduled to go in 2020, March of 2020, in fact. And the week that we were supposed to be down there, we had canceled our trip about mid-month, but the week that we were supposed to be down there was the week they closed down the strip. So obviously we didn't go in 2020. Last year, my husband was having issues with his job, so he couldn't get the time away. And this year we finally made it. We drove from Montana to Las Vegas. We stopped in Salt Lake City for the night. And Salt Lake City has a Lego store. As far as I know, there's no Lego store, a Lego store in Montana. So it's always exciting when we can go somewhere and actually go to the Lego store. Now this is where I'm going to jump around a little bit. Before I get to what I got at the Lego store in Salt Lake City, my husband has been trying to order a certain Lego set for months, but it kept getting back ordered or it was out of stock or whatever. And he finally got on the back ordered list and he figured it was going to be probably May, June, even July before this came in stock again. Well, of course, while we were on vacation is when it arrived. And here is the video of what he got. He is so excited to have that set because he is the one that buys all the sets with the most parts. That's his big thing. He doesn't really care what the set is as long as it has a lot of parts. So he was very excited to get this. He has 4 or 5 other sets that he still needs to build, but he put those aside and he is starting on that one today. Because we do have the VIP membership and we haven't used it in a while and he bought the Titanic, we had quite a bit of VIP points. So when we were in Salt Lake City, I asked him if I could use the points for a set I wanted. Then it became a major thing of what set am I going to get? Because there was like 6 or 7 of them I really wanted. We had a space issue for one thing because we had my little car. And the other thing was I have so many sets I already need to put together. But after wandering the store for a while and talking to my husband, I finally decided to get this set, which is the Volkswagen van. And the reason I decided to get this is because I already have the red one that came out, I don't know, 2016, I think. And I have that one, and this one will look great sitting next to it. And it's also not going to take up as much space as some of the other ones that I wanted because I'm running out of shelf space too. That's the other issue. So I decided to get this. This set is $179 with the VIP points we had. I only paid about $35, I think, for this. But of course, while I was wandering around, I found a couple other things that I wanted to get. One of them being this cat's brick heads. I'm not really into brick heads, but I am into cats. So I went ahead and got this. For my desk at my office, I decided to get these so I could put these on my desk because I still have some winter Lego sets sitting on my desk and I need to change them out. So that's why I bought that one. Because we did buy all of these sets, those 3 sets. We of course got the free poly bag, and I also got the Easter egg. And I'm not sure if I'm going to keep these or put them up for sale. I'm kind of going back and forth. So I might hang on to them for a while and figure out exactly what I want to do with those. Also, they were doing a little egg hunt, and if you completed their egg hunt, you got some free stickers of the dots and a little sticker sheet. So I got a whole bunch of freebies from that trip to the Lego store in Salt Lake City. While we were in Vegas, we also went to the Lego store in Vegas because, you know, you got to hit them all if you're going to be going and doing this. So while we were there, we went to the Lego store there. I bought my granddaughter a friend's Lego set, which I gave to her last night because yesterday was her 8th birthday. So she was very happy because she has a little setup in the guest bedroom with a little table with all her friend sets. So she was very happy to get a new one. I'm sure her brothers are going to be thrilled that they get to help her put it together. But while I was there, again, did some more wandering around, and at that Lego store, they had a different cat brickheads. So I got this one as well. So I'm going to have to get these put together. I think they're really cute. So the other thing I did get, and this is for the business, I got 3 of these little sets that I'm going to take apart and sell the parts individually. They were on sale, so we bought 3 of them just for fun. My husband built, or at least collected, parts for 3 minifigs. It's going to be interesting to see if it was worth the money or if maybe he should have picked some different parts. But it was just more something fun for us to do. We're going to put the parts into inventory, but it was just fun to kind of dig through and go, wonder if this part is worth a little bit more money than this part. So it was just something for us to do. That is what we got at the 2 Lego stores while we were in Vegas. Now I'm going to change things up a little bit, and I'm going to answer some questions that have come up in the comments recently. Some of these I believe I've already answered or I didn't answer in detail, so I'll go into a little bit more detail and I will switch up the view and I will answer those questions. All right, these are just some of the questions that have come up in the comments in the last month. I've been terrible about responding to comments lately. I've just been busy with other stuff, and I really need to keep on top of that because I really do appreciate everybody who takes the time to comment. And I do read them, I just don't always get a chance to respond to them or comment back. So these are just a couple of the questions that have come up. The first one is, could you please do a video on how you determine what is acceptable to use in your Bricklink store? And I did do a video on this, and if I can figure out which one it is, I will put the link up here so that you can go and watch it. But basically anything that has noticeable scratches, abrasions, bite marks, ink marks, noticeable fading, all of those get taken out. And when it comes down to the point where I'm looking at it and I'm trying to go, well, should I add it or not? When I get to that point, generally I'll go, okay, if I'm questioning it, it needs to just go, and it'll go in the filler box. And I do sell the parts that are in my filler box. As I've said before, I will use Facebook Marketplace. I've also hung up flyers at my office. Whatever I can do to sell those, I sell them 6 pounds for $20, which is a pretty good deal. A lot of the parts are in pretty good shape because I am getting so picky about what I put in my store. Hopefully that answers that question. Okay, the next question was, what is your procedure for the identification of the parts? It seems like that would be very time consuming. Thanks. And yes, it's very time consuming. And the more I read this question, the more I realized I really need to do a short video on this, because there are so many different ways to identify parts. But once you've been doing this for a long time, you can usually pick up a part and figure out, oh, that's a modified plate, or that's a modified brick, that's a wedge plate. And you start to realize what the different categories are, which make it a lot easier to put it into inventory. There are times that I get stumped. I'm not sure if a part is a Bionicle part, Hero Factory, Technic, just some weird miscellaneous part I've never seen before. Most of the Lego parts have the number on them somewhere, have a part number, and I will use my magnifying glass or even my digital microscope to look to see what that part number is, and then I can look it up that way. There are some that do not have numbers on them. If they don't have a number, I'm not even sure if it's even Lego. And when it gets to that point, I will take a picture of it. I will upload it to the forums on Bricklink, and I will just ask, hey, is this Lego? If it is, what is it? And they have been awesome. I've never had one part that they weren't able to tell me what it is. They can even tell you if it's a knockoff brand. They can usually tell you what knockoff brand it is. That's how good people are on the Bricklink forums. So if you ever get stuck, just take a picture and upload it, and the people on the forums will help you figure out what part that is. But like I said, that's probably something I really should do just a short video on, to show you how I figure out what parts are and identifying them. So if that's something that you're interested in, go ahead and leave a comment below, and I will definitely do a video on it. Okay, the next one is from Germany, so Guten Tag. That's about all I remember from 3 years of German. That and Ich verstehe nicht, which, you know, comes in handy when you're in class and don't know what the heck they're saying. So the question was, hello from Germany. Thank you for your informative videos. I don't know if you've said this in your video, but are you, or respectively your husband, trying to rebuild most of the minifigures or just selling the parts? So yes to both. My husband, as I've said many, many times, is the one who does all the minifigure stuff. He is the one that knows all those parts a lot better than I do now. And what he does is, when we get a bulk lot of minifigure parts, or I end up with a bunch of minifigure parts from a bulk lot, he will go through and he will try to rebuild as many minifigures as he can. Once he gets to the point where he realizes he's not going to be able to build any more minifigures, then he'll put the individual parts into inventory. And we have figured out in the last couple of months that the individual parts sell as well, if not better, than the minifigures. Really depending on what you're wanting to do with your parts. If you have the time and the energy and the focus and motivation, rebuild the minifigures, because you're going to get more money for those than you will the individual parts. If you can't, or you don't have time to do that, keep in mind that those individual parts will sell just as well. So either way works. My husband has a whole way of doing the minifigures that he's explained it to me 3 or 4 times so I can discuss it in my videos, because he doesn't want to be on camera. But if you watch the end of this video, you might get to see a picture of him from our vacation. So, but he doesn't want to be on camera. But he explains to me that he looks at the torso, figures out what minifigures go with that torso. Then he sees if he has the right head. If he has the right head and torso, he'll look to make sure he has the right hat or hair. And if he does, then he'll look for the leg. Because generally, a lot of times the legs aren't specific to that minifigure. It's a generic, just plain red, blue, dark green, whatever. He goes through a whole process to figure out if he can build a minifigure, and it's a time-consuming process, but he's got it down to where it's a lot quicker for him, and he enjoys doing that. So I let him. I have plenty of other stuff to do. I don't need to be messing with the minifigures too. These next 3 questions came from some older videos I did. One was a store tour, and the other one was how I organize my parts. I may have already discussed this, but I just wanted to answer these questions. The first one was, how do you stock tire parts? And I think they mean, how do I store the tire parts? And the tires take up a lot of space in my store. I have one big bin that is a 12 by 12 bin that I have bags in. They're usually quart or gallon bags that I will put the tires in, and then I'll put a sticker on the outside that says either the size of the tire and or the part number. So I have that bin. I have, I believe, 2 or 3 storage drawers with tires in them. I have some of the smaller drawers behind me that have tires in them. So they're all over my store. They're not easy to store, and they really don't sell as well as some of the other parts. That being said, I had collected a whole bunch of a specific tire and a specific wheel that goes in that tire, to the point I had like a whole gallon bag of each. And I had somebody come into the store and buy me out of both. Was it worth to keep it? Yes. Does it take up space? Yes. So whether or not you want to keep all your tires is totally up to you. If you have the space, keep them. If you have too many, maybe weed some out and do a sale on your tires. I've done that quite a few times too. I have done a sale of both wheels and tires at various points, just to try to weed them out a little bit and to empty the drawers a little bit so I can put more in. Just an idea. The other 2 questions have to do with my stack-ons behind me. One of the questions was, where did I buy all of these? Because I have a whole bunch of them. I bought these back in 2016 and 2017, and I bought the gray ones at Home Depot. And then along my other wall over here, I have a whole bunch of blue ones, and those were bought at Lowe's. I'm not sure if they still sell them. I don't think they do. I think that's been an issue for a lot of people, are trying to find a manufacturer that does something like these. Acro mills are expensive, but I've heard you could go to, I want to say Ace Hardware, and get their brand for like half of the Acro mills. I haven't checked that out, so I'm not sure, but originally I got all of mine at Lowe's and Home Depot. But if they don't sell them anymore, I guess that's not going to do you much good. The other question I had, and I think I mentioned this on like my 2nd or 3rd video, when they asked how these were attached to the wall. And these are all screwed in. But here's the thing, when we built this shop, we were building it specifically for our Lego business. And when we were talking with the contractor, we explained what we wanted to do, and we told him before he even started that when he got done, we wanted to pay him to hang all these, because if my husband and I did it, we'd probably end up divorced. You know, it was just too many of them to get them all level, get them all up. And when he heard that, he said, hey, is it, because we told him just put up 2x4s and drill them to the 2x4s. He said, instead of doing that, let's put 2x6 behind the drywall. And he figured out the spacing by measuring one of these. He figured out all the spacing going down. And so there's 2x6 pieces of boards behind all of the top rows of the stack-ons going down. And it's along this wall and along my other wall here, all have those 2x6. And I got to tell you, I was so impressed when he hung these up. When we first did this, I think I only had like maybe 15 of these filled, maybe 20. And I have a lot more than that. But when he was doing it, all he did was take out the corner drawers at the top, and he figured out exactly how to mark it. He drilled the holes and was able to hang them all up with the parts in them. So it was well worth the money to me to have somebody come in and hang those up. And he did an awesome job. This is exactly how I wanted them done, and he did a great job. I couldn't be happier with the way they look. If you're going to be building a space to do your shop and you're going to be having these kind of drawers, I would definitely recommend putting the 2x6 behind the plywood, because if we do ever sell this property, we just have to take out the screws and do a little bit of cleanup where the holes will be and look like a great room after that. So we won't have all these ugly 2x4 pieces of wood hanging on the wall. Okay, so that were my questions. This video is going to end up a lot longer than I thought. But before I go, I took a bunch of video while I was on vacation, and I very much want to share it with you. If you're not interested, go ahead and click off. If you're interested in seeing what my husband and I did on our vacation, so just stay tuned. So that wraps up this episode of Montana Used Bricks. If you enjoyed it, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you really enjoyed it, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.